What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. And y'all know I'm never on here through the week going live. Uh, but I wanted to go live on this particular video, on this particular subject, because um, I know that in my normal videos, I would not be able to um, say everything I want to say in the time frame that I may need to say it. And I'm still not going to be on here long. I just want to pay homage because all up and down my timeline, as soon as I jumped on Facebook, I'm seeing RIPs to my brother Chino XL, and this person that, the first thing that comes across your mind, for your first shock, and then, secondly, you hope that fake and that it's a rumor, because a lot of times you see where people pass away and all that, and then you find out later on that it didn't really happen. It was RIP. I mean, it was a rumor. It didn't really happen. The person's doing fine or whatever, or they may have had an issue, but they're doing fine. But then you start seeing it so much, you start seeing it too much, and we start seeing it too much, then it kind of confirms it in a way. And then I went to Wikipedia, and they're normally pretty up to date on those types of things. So when I saw, when you go to Wikipedia, you always see that born date. But when you see that dash and that other date, then you kind of know. So uh, it caught me off guard. It's just, things you just don't see coming. But once you kind of come into the acceptance of it and the reality of it, then you immediately start to do what you do with anybody else that passes away. You start to reflect. You start to pray. You pray for their family. You think about their family, whoever their family may be. Then you reflect on the person's life and the greatness of that person, whether it be somebody that's known or famous, or whether it just be your friend that you grew up with or your family member. And the lyrical community, hip hop in general, hip hop as a whole lost a giant. Um, but to break it down just from hip hop and all the elements and all the contributions that Chino made, I'm breaking it down and condensing it down to the lyrical community, the community of pure lyricists, who consist of many, many greats. There have been many, many, many greats that have worn the badge and worn the title of lyricist and being a lyrical rapper. And Chino XL is right there with all of them, any of them that you name. Punchlines, wordplay, multi-syllables, just one of the greatest rappers to ever do it, man. So to hear that, he passed away at the age of 50, which very young. A lot of people, for all of y'all who are in y'all 20s and 30s, I know how it is when you feel like you hear somebody that's 45, 50, y'all think that that's old. You don't think that until you don't understand that that's not old until you get to that age. When you get to that age, then it's like, nah, that's still young. And I'm just so grateful that I got a chance to know him and be around him a little bit, in my career, and my appreciation for him as a rapper was already there long before I ever met him. But my appreciation for him as a person, went through the roof in the couple of times that I was around him, and a couple of times I got to just kick it with him and hang out, do shows and all that, man. It was just, I saw how humble that he was. I saw the type of heart and spirit that he had. And y'all know me, that goes farther with me than anything that you do in the entertainment side of it. The entertainment side makes us fans of you as an artist, but when we see your character and we see your heart, it makes us fans of you as a person. So I became a fan of Chino as a person just from the times that he would come down, because he was always on the road and touring with Immortal Technique, and that's how we crossed paths. Because um, when Immortal Technique reached out to me about doing a show for the hurricane when Hurricane Harvey hit back in 2017, and Immortal Technique reached out and was like, "Man, we want to do a benefit show," and we ended up doing the show in San Antonio, because we couldn't do it in Houston because Houston was tore up from the storm. So Immortal Technique put together a quick show in San Antonio, and of course Chino was on the show. And the very next day, they called me and they came down. They wanted to come down to Houston and assess the storm damage for themselves. And what they wanted to do, they wanted to take all of the money, all the proceeds that were made from the hurricane benefit concert. They wanted to take that money and distribute it out to different grassroots organizations for hurricane relief, organizations that they knew that where the money would go to where they said the money was going to go. And so Immortal Technique, Chino, and a couple other brothers, they drove down from San Antonio the next day after the concert, maybe a day after, if I'm not mistaken. And they went to a few spots, gave away some money. Then they came to Mosque 45. They came to Muhammad Mosque 45, and they gave away some money as well to the mosque, who in turn took the money and used the money for hurricane relief and to benefit victims of the hurricane. And Chino was right there with Immortal Technique, right there, as humbled as ever, as cool as ever. And in the times that I was around him doing shows backstage, we got to chop it up just backstage and just talk about regular stuff, talk about rap, but talk about regular stuff. He was an imposing figure. Chino was a big guy. Chino was a big guy, but he did not project that when you're just sitting down having a conversation. Just a cool, laid back dude. And I was honored, to be around him, as well as Immortal Technique. I was honored to be around those brothers because they were just regular dudes, man. Just regular dudes and real rappers. Chino is a real rapper. Immortal Technique, these guys are real rappers. When they got on stage, it's no lip syncing, it's no rapping over the vocal track. You getting up there and you rapping for real and you spitting for real, and the audience is getting the benefit of seeing you perform your song in actual real reality. Chino prided himself on lyricism, man. Prided himself on lyricism. And we're talking about decades, decades of being that great, being on that level for decades. And he falls into that category, in my opinion, as one of those rappers who, even though the rap community knows his greatness, we know his greatness. We know he's going to be on any list. When you start talking about lyricism and all that, we know, but still under the radar in terms of that broad scope and that big reach. He just wasn't, he never got that reach, and he was underrated to me, in my opinion, because of that, man. But man, this is a hit. This is a big loss, man, for hip hop and for the rap community. A brother like Chino, man. you know. So I don't know any details. I'm just finding out myself. But I wanted to do this as a tribute to him. I wanted to pay homage to him. You know, I don't I wanted to make sure that I let the world know um, the respect I had for him. And a lot of times, you know, we say things like, "Oh man, you got that's why you got to give people their flowers while they still around," and that's true. All that's true, man. All that's true. And I feel comfortable knowing that uh, I did. You know, I feel comfortable knowing that anytime I had an opportunity to say anything to Chino, whether it be in person or whether if I send him a message. I think the last message that I sent him was reaching out to him to come on my podcast, you know. But I always made sure to give him his props. So I feel, you know, I feel all right about that side of it. But you know, regardless of what the cause was, you know, we suffered a big loss today. But we have to always understand, you know, God knows better than we do. God knows better than we do. And when the sun set on our brother, you know, he returns back to his creator. He returns back to his creator. And the beauty of it, even in the sadness of the loss of him in the physical form, the beauty of it is all of the work that he left behind for us to still be able to hear his voice, still be able to see him in the videos, still be able to appreciate his art, which is now his legacy. We can still get the benefit of that. He is still he is an artist, one of the many great lyricists that should be studied, should be studied. And because he's so intricate, I'm happy to have done songs with him. You know what I'm saying? I know him on a couple of songs, one or two songs with him. You know, people have put us together, and I saw on his Instagram where he just talked about being on the new Rakim project. And that was just a few weeks back. And for those that know, Rakim had just dropped a new project, and Rakim um, put a lot of the great lyricists on this project. So to hear that Chino is, I didn't know that Chino was on the Rakim project. So to hear that Chino was on the Rakim album was like, psh, absolutely no brainer. Um, because if you had to list a group and say, well, hey man, I'm putting together a lyrical project. Give me some people I need to put on there. If it's me putting it together, Chino is automatically one of the people that's going to be on there, automatically. So I was real happy to know that he was on the Rakim project. But aside from that, man, so many of his own, so much of his own material, his own work um, will live on. In my opinion, will live on, man. But I'm more so just I'm just thinking about the person, man, the spirit that he had anytime and I'm not acting like I was around Chino all the time or a lot. You know, we only met a handful of times. We only kicked it, been around each other a handful of times. But, you know, it doesn't take you long to recognize the energy of a person. It don't take you long. You could be around a person 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 45 seconds. And a lot of times you can pick up the energy. And what's funny is that, and I see my homie Analyst is up in here, so Analyst can help me bear witness to this. And because Analyst is a lyricist himself. What's funny is that as far as rappers go, it's always been since the dawn of time, rappers have always had this edge and this chip on our shoulders when we come around other rappers. because rap is a as far as just lyricism, rappers in battle rap, it's a bragging sport. It's a sport where you are always trying to prove and establish dominance and supremacy over the other rappers. So anytime one rapper is here and then another rapper enters the room, even if you never met this person before, there's a unspoken tension. There's a tension in the room. There's an energy in the room that rappers have. Like, yeah, well, hey, yeah, I know he in the room, but I'm here. I'm the one. I'm the one. He ain't better than me. And rappers always have that little thing about themselves. And as you get older, I mean, you don't lose it, but you learn how to better use it. You can't just be aggravated all the time and ready to battle everybody you see. And I'm saying all this to say that uh, on my first interactions with Chino and Immortal Technique and all these guys, man, it's like that wasn't the spirit. And I didn't come in with that spirit either. I came in with the spirit of humility, the spirit of being gracious and grateful that they were including me on their tour and the shows, and I was very humble, very grateful for that. Because I did 3 cities with them. And so to come into the room with a lyrical giant like Chino, and then, you know, as soon as you step in the room, it's, what's up? You know, it's like, it just, the humility, it makes you happy, you know, as somebody, because, you know, like I say, and the other side to rap is you never know how other artists are. Artists with name, big name, middle name. You know, some cats don't even have a name and they're real arrogant. So you kind of come in on your guard. Um, this guy was always just cool, man. Always cool. Always showed love. Always um, gave me respect and props and love that he didn't have to give to me. You know, and so in the news of hearing that he passed, um, I'm grasping and holding on to just the happiness of being able to say that I actually knew the brother, that we was actually cool. We was actually cool. That was my guy. You know, like I said, we weren't friends or hung out and talked hardly ever, but in the interactions we had, we was cool, man. So I'm glad to have shared a piece of his life and have worked with him and have had the opportunity to share a stage with him, to share a microphone with him, to share a beat with him, a song. I'm grateful to be able to say that I was a part of just even just a microscopic part of his legacy, which I hope that the acknowledgement comes in full force from the hip hop community about his passing, and to celebrate his life and to celebrate his legacy and his work. Because, you know, nowadays we kind of live in an era where, you know, if it ain't that big time mainstream who everybody's hearing on the radio and everybody's seeing it on the award shows and all that, if it's not them, then it's kind of like, okay, you know, you become a footnote in history. But we can't allow that to happen, because at the end of the day, man, um, in our world, in this underground world, the way where we do our art, um, we have to be the ones to lift each other up. We got to be the ones to make sure that the whole world knows about Chino. You know, that the whole world, that younger generations who might not have ever heard of, who may not know who he is, we got to know who he is. So I just want to salute my brother, man, and I'm so thankful that his career spanned 30 years. If I'm guessing right, I'm so thankful that his career was 30 years because we got a lot of work to listen to. He didn't pass at age 19 after one album, or he put out a mixtape and a couple of songs and now he's gone. We got a lot. He left us a lot, man. So, like I say, I'm not gonna be on here a long time, but I do want to. I'll read a few of y'all's comments, man, and then we'll close out in a big way. I'll tell y'all how we're gonna do it in a big way. I mean, punchlines, man. You got so many great punchline rappers. You got Big L. You know, got a lot of guys who were considered really great. Man, his punchlines were just second to none, man. And he could mix it up. Like he can go from punchline to just pure lyricism, man. Just so versatile. So versatile, man. Hector says, what I've seen him with you in Immortal Technique. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Like I said, I was blessed to be around that brother. Him and Immortal Technique. And I met Chino through Immortal Technique because they were touring together. So I'm grateful for that. Horace Gully Jr. says one of the all-time greatest lyricists in hip-hop entire history. Fact. Absolute fact. I don't know a cause, y'all. I don't know. I have no idea. I hope and pray after I do this video, somebody say, nah, that ain't true as a rumor. Short Bus says Chino was ahead of his time with metaphors and punchlines. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alchemistical. Praise that brother. He will rise. Yeah. I would love for it to be a hoax, understand the cipher. Jill Duval, he was featured on Rakim's new album, which I purchased the pre-order today. Absolutely, man. I'm so glad to hear that he's on there Rakim, man, because now something new and fresh will be presented to the world because Rakim's new album is making a splash, so people will get to hear it. Our brother, man. Anybody who cracks a joke or says something stupid, y'all need to grow up, man. Straight up. Anybody who cracks a joke or says something stupid, man, y'all need to grow up. Fast. Because we grown men on here, man. We grown men and women on here, man. If you over 20 years old and you cracking silly jokes, y'all need to move around. I hope it is. Xavier says, happy I got on the track with Rakim before he passed. G2000, he's a great MC. That's right. Let me get rid of this clown real quick, man. Hold on. All right. Understanding Cypher. I wish I could have met him. And you know, like, and I wish you could have too, because like he was just a good brother. 50 years old, super young. Fulton County champions. Worst news all year for me. But you know, I mean, and it is. But you know, man, I mean, we always talk about celebrating the life, and we got to do that, man. I'm thinking about the thought that just came to my mind is just being proud of the man, proud of what he did. See, when you come from that mud and hip hop like we all came from, man, and if you ascend to any height, any level where you are internationally known on any level, and you made a career out of something that came from nothing, man, that's something that's an accomplishment. That's something to be extremely proud of. And Chino is one of the ones, you know, who, like many rappers, just came from nothing and built his name up, and now he's considered one of the most um, potent and supreme lyricists and rappers of all time, man. So that's saying a lot. That's coming a long way, and doing it for 30 years consistently. So in that regard, again, you mourn the loss of the person that you're not going to ever see again. You're not going to be able to dap him up, shake his hand, give him a hug, speak to him, hear him speak back. You're not going to be able to hear any of that, but he can speak back. He'll speak to you through all that music he made and videos and even social media content. You know, that's one of the few things about social media that's a benefit, that in this day and age is so much footage of everybody that you can always bring them back to life whenever you decide to. Bless his fam for real. That's right. Bless his family. 2020 MC, an absolute legend, a bar king. This one hits hard. Man, just incredible mind. Just an incredible mind, man. An incredible mind. Seer says, I spoke with him a couple of times and he was a humble brother. Bro, y'all know I wouldn't even be thinking about this coming on here. Man, again, like I said earlier, it's about the person, man. The person supersedes the talent for me, because you can have all the talent in the world, and if I meet you and you a butthole, your talent means nothing to me anymore, other than me being able to just acknowledge, yeah, he's a talented dude, but I don't like you as a person. Nah, man, this dude was a good person, man. He cared. Just coming up, reading a few of y'all's comments, man. Reading a few of y'all's comments. Just heard him on Rakim's new joint. That's Doom said, just heard him on Rakim's new joint. Wow. Wow. All right, y'all. Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all long. So this is what we gonna do, man. Y'all know we always do OG salutes when legends come into the room and OGs come into the room. We're gonna do just an OG salute for our brother Chino and just show him some love. Um, so we want to give some power fists, some strong arms, some 100s, some hearts, whatever we can think of, everybody that's in here, man, just please drop something for Chino. Drop some love for Chino. Some fire. That fire, those flames are definitely adequate for this brother. The microphones, anything that represents and reflects the greatness of our brother, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. I'll be reading a couple of comments. Keep on dropping that love. We're doing an OG salute, grand OG salute. BD Vision says, I was fortunate enough to kick it with him more than once when he came here to Vegas. Super cool and down to earth. I got to cipher with him and all that. Yeah, man. All I keep thinking about is how cool he was as a person, bro. We know how great he was as a rapper. Keep on dropping that love, man. Drop some flames and microphones and 100s and anything to represent how you felt about our brother. I'm so glad. And I'm glad all of y'all are mentioning Rakim. I see Jamal Horton checked in. Everybody's mentioning the Rakim project. Man, I'm so glad that he's on that project. I didn't even know to today. Something brand new and fresh that people can hear recent and Chino and honor him for that. Because like I said, I read a Instagram post where he mentioned that he was going to be on the Rakim project some weeks back. So I know for all of us who grew up respecting and loving Rakim as one of the fathers of lyricism, I know that meant something to Chino. Yeah, man. OG salute. Keep it coming, man. Keep it coming for our brother. All right. Well, I said I wasn't gonna be on long, and I'm mean that, but I had to come and give some homage and some love to Chino XL, one of the greatest to ever do it. Lyricism, we lost a great one, man. But what we lost was we lost any future work. But he left so much present and past work that we should be well fed forever, man. And Jay Freedom, that shout out to DJ Polo too, because if y'all don't know, DJ Polo passed away. He was Coogee Raps DJ back in the days. And I saw last night, I saw something, I think I read something that DJ Polo had passed away. So a lot of these legends that kind of go under the radar, you know, we got to keep their name going, keep their name alive, as my OG Wicked Cricket told me to do for him. So love and respect, man. I appreciate y'all checking in just to celebrate our brother. All praise is due to Allah. May Allah be pleased with our brother, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace.